Today we're diving into an often overlooked aspect of ancient history, the complicated relationship between the Spartans, also known as Lacedaemonians, and the rest of the so-called Hellenic world. Let's explore this question together and find out. While we often think of the Spartans as quintessential Hellenes, the reality is much more complex, and at times downright contradictory. Let's dig into some lesser-known sources to uncover what really set the Spartans apart from their neighbors. The Hellenic identity. Who were the Hellenes? The term Hellene referred to people who shared a common language, religious practices, and cultural traditions. However, this identity was not as unified as we might imagine today. The ancient Hellenic world was made up of independent poleis, city-states, each with its own customs and way of life. In Histories, Herodotus, Book 8, highlights how the Spartans and Athenians differed significantly in their customs despite speaking the same language. Source: Aristotle in Politics. Swing pointed out that the Spartan system was so unique that it hardly resembled the democratic and artistic life of Athens. Fun fact: imagine trying to invite a Spartan to an Athenian symposium. No thanks, we don't do wine-fueled debates, but if you've got a battle or a strict military drill, count us in. How other city-states viewed the Spartans. Athenians, who prided themselves on their culture, viewed the Spartans as harsh, unrefined, and almost barbaric. The Spartans had little interest in arts, philosophy, or democracy, pillars of Athenian life. Thucydides, in History of the Peloponnesian War, Book 1, describes how Athenians saw the Spartans as stuck in their old ways, living according to ancient laws, unchanging and unyielding. Example: even the Thebans, who were no fans of Athens, considered the Spartans overly obsessed with military discipline. Imagine a Theban soldier saying, "Sure, we like fighting, but come on, do you really need a festival dedicated to just marching in a straight line?" The Corinthians were also critical, joking that inviting a Spartan to a poetry reading was like inviting a fish to a desert. Spartan isolationism and religious practices. The Spartans worshipped the same gods as the other Hellenes, like Zeus and Apollo, but with their own distinct twist. Instead of celebrating with grand festivals and artistic competitions, the Spartans focused on martial rituals and discipline. Xenophon, in Constitution of the Lacedaemonians, details how the Carnaia festival was less about fun and more about military drills. Imagine being invited to a Spartan festival. No music, no dancing, just a strict formation. Sounds like a blast, right? Plutarch, in Life of Lycurgus, emphasizes that even Spartan sacrifices to the gods were marked by austerity. No elaborate feasts, just simple offerings. Fun fact: Athenians were known for their lavish parties, while Spartans were like, "We'll just have water and bread, thanks, and maybe a light workout after." The Spartans' unique education system, known as Agogi. The Agoge, the Spartan education system, was unlike anything seen in other city-states. While Athenians sent their kids to learn philosophy and rhetoric, Spartans sent theirs to endure hardship and even fight wolves. Yes, that's not a joke. In Lives, Plutarch describes the Agogias training young Spartans to be tough, disciplined, and indifferent to pain. Meanwhile, in Athens, a young student might be crying over a difficult geometry problem. Even the Persians, who were no strangers to military training, were baffled by the intensity of Spartan drills. Imagine a Persian general saying, "Are you training soldiers or creating a new species of superhuman?" Humorous twist. Athenians were like, "We debate ideas." Spartans were like, "We debate whether it's better to punch with the left or right fist." And if you think your gym class was tough, try surviving on a diet of broth while being chased by wolves. The Spartans would have laughed at our idea of extra credit. The Persian Wars and unlikely allies. When Persia came knocking, Athens and Sparta set aside their differences. Well, sort of. Even as they fought side by side, tensions simmered just beneath the surface. You could almost imagine the Athenians and Spartans turning their war effort into a reality TV show. Whose contribution was bigger? Coming soon to the ancient amphitheater near you. Herodotus, in Histories, Book 7, notes that the Athenians and Spartans were constantly competing over who contributed more to the war effort. The Athenians claimed, "We built the best ships." The Spartans retorted, "Yeah, but we did all the fighting on land." Fun fact, the Spartans only showed up to the Battle of Marathon after it was already over, citing a religious festival as the reason they couldn't come earlier. The Athenians were probably like, "Yeah, sure, nice timing." The Spartan concept of luxury, non-existent. Spartans prided themselves on their simple way of life, which often made them seem like aliens to their more luxurious neighbors. In The Rise and Fall of Classical Greece, Josiah Ober highlights how Spartan simplicity was a form of cultural resistance to the decadence of other city-states. The Athenians once sent ambassadors to Sparta with silk robes and wine. The Spartans looked at it and said, "What are we supposed to do with this? Wear it into battle." Humorous take. Imagine if Instagram existed back then, Athenians posting selfies with golden goblets while Spartans post day 300 of eating gruel and loving it. The Spartans' place in the Hellenic world, outsiders or insiders. So, were the Spartans truly part of the Hellenic world? The answer is, not really. While they spoke the same language and worshipped the same gods, their unique way of life, disdain for luxury and obsession with military discipline made them perpetual outsiders. Think of it like how America, Australia, and Britain all believe in shared foundational values, speak the same language, and have similar cultural traditions, yet remain distinct in their national identities and lifestyles. In the end, the ancient Hellenic world was far more fragmented than modern ideas of a unified Greek identity. The story of Sparta reminds us that even those who shared a common tongue and gods were not always seen as part of the same cultural family. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you ever feel too comfortable in your cozy life, just remember, somewhere out there, a Spartan is judging you for not doing enough push-ups. And here's a little tip before you go. If you ever find yourself discussing this topic with a Greek friend, never, ever tell them the whole truth. People who don't know their roots might just sleep better at night. After all, nothing hurts quite like finding out your legendary ancestors were more like your cranky, military-obsessed neighbors than the enlightened philosophers you imagined. See you next time. And remember, some secrets are better left buried in the dusty scrolls of history.